Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well and staying cool wherever you are. I am definitely not. I'm so hot in my studio outside. It is just really hot here in Southern California, and yeah, I'm basically have been melting away. And when I have to come out here and work, or I just don't work and I stay inside because that's where my air conditioner is. So anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's just hot like all over the country. But anyway, I have two journals here to show you. I've been waiting to record this voiceover when I can get into my studio and have a nice cool evening to do so. And yeah, so I'm super excited to show you these. So this first one is a standard size journal, and I'm trying to show you this little charm that I made for that tag. And that tag is it's got vintage French wallpaper on it that I got from Antique Textile Shop. And these little circle things, I got these from Catherine at French Biadou on Instagram, and I'm not sure what these are or what they were for, but they are these little circles that have the names of towns or cities, or would you say provinces? I'm not sure, in France. And I've been trying to figure out a way to use them. So I got my little Denizen key tags out, this little vintage box of Denizen tags that I have here. And I decided to just glue one of them on and make like a little charm. So I added one onto those little tags. I'm always looking for ways to get away with using those little Denizen key tags. So yeah, I just glued that on there and a little rose charm onto this tag. And yeah, it's just some French wallpaper, stamps, and that top part was like a little bit of a French encyclopedia. And then this is just a vintage postcard. So the journal itself, you see this amazing fabric here. It's gorgeous. The colors were just so beautiful, and that was gifted to me from Heather at Ruby and Pearl XO, and she just gave me like this small little piece, and it's just so perfect for a standard size journal for the cover. So I tried to kind of build up the rest of the journal around that beautiful fabric. So that was the inspiration for pretty much like the contents of the rest of the journal. So I've just added a bunch of fun vintage things in here, lots of little like fun eclectic treasures for you to enjoy. So this little photo that I've included here is just a little photograph that I love so much. Like I love this. See this like well-dressed man just sort of like sitting there looking out at whatever he's looking out at underneath this like, you know, archway with like vines coming up over it, and just kind of like a really sweet and romantic kind of picture. And I just had to include that in there. And then this tag from a collage masterboard that I made a while back, where I used some stamps that I have and paint. So that's a really fun and pretty tag. And used all sorts of my usual things: vintage wallpaper, French ledger. This is a little vintage library card pocket, and I dug through my grungy old airmail envelopes and included this one that had this little 3-page letter inside. So as I'm like watching this video back right now, I'm like having this thought that it's so funny because I always like go back and forth between something that has like this colorway where it's like blues and reds and just like very vintage stuff, and then the other journal is like pink and like floral and girly, and that seems to be like the two types of journals that I make. It's like super pink and those kind of colors, or it's like darker and blue and more vintage looking. I don't know. I feel like that I always alternate between the two of those, and there they are in one video. But anyway, just a couple more little fun things. That's some French wallpaper down at the bottom of that pocket on the right. This is a vintage greeting card. It comes with its little matching envelope. This is kind of a funny letterhead with like this like man head on a cartoon sort of drawn illustrated body. Okay, so this little thing here, I got this from, I want to say it was from Sarah at Crafty Paper Bits. I could be wrong. It may have come from Catherine, but I think it was from Sarah. Anyway, I have this like weird obsession with vintage office supplies. There's like something about vintage office supplies that remind me of my childhood. It reminds me of my parents. They both like had their own sort of like study room or like office, and they always had like, of course, me and my sister would always like look through their drawers in their desk, and my dad in particular always had like all kinds of these like just random office supplies, but they're like, you know, old school office supplies, old school stapler, which I have now in my studio. I don't know how to explain it. Like even his desk drawers were like milk crates or like something like that. And yeah, so vintage office supplies just really, it's just like something that I just geek out over. So I'm showing you here these little fasteners. I think these are called OK fasteners. Maybe this particular one isn't an actual OK fastener, but in this tin here that I did get from Catherine, there are some like fasteners that are so tiny, and they're really interesting. You just have to like clip them over with paper, and then you have to like flatten out these two little pointy parts, like push them in so that they like clasp onto the paper. Anyway, when I got that from her, it was all vintage brads, and then I found those little tiny fasteners inside, and I was really excited about those. And then here I'm just showing you this roll of antique wallpaper that I have that I've used on several tags in this journal, and it's just absolutely gorgeous and one of my favorite rolls of wallpaper that I have. So I guess this kind of turned into like a little show and tell video, but I thought it would be nice to kind of like explain some of the things that I have and like show like the boxes that they come in and stuff. I don't know. Ephemera is fun. Looking at old ephemera and vintage things is always fun. So this is just a little paper that came out of a antique notebook. This came out of a children's like vintage geography book. And then that little rose book plate my mom had, and she gave that to me not too long ago. She gave me like a little box of them that I guess she had and thought that I would like, and duh, obviously I would love that. It's a beautiful rose. So that paper came from, I have a lot of like books about art and how to like mix paint colors together and stuff like that, and so I like to include some pages like that every now and again. This digital is so, like, I'm obsessed with this beautiful digital, and I think I might have sized it down, and that's from Luna Rosu, one of Luna Rosu's digital collections. And this is some antique railroad ephemera. All right, so I like this spread right here. These are some fun things here. A little vintage envelope. I always include just a vintage envelope with nothing inside in my journals. I like to think that you would decorate it yourself or put some special papers inside. This little tag, gotta love that little angel on there. That little angel is from, it's like from an old French catalog of some kind. And then this is just one of those little Victorian like hidden name cards. Super old, super grungy. little fold out. Do you guys know that Instagram, it's called Papers of the Past or Paper of the Past? Yeah, I think it's Paper of the Past. I'm going to link that or I'll put her Instagram name in the description box so you can go check it out. But that Instagram is so inspiring. I absolutely love it. She basically I think she just finds all kinds of cool scrapbooks and old vintage paper ephemera items and features them on her Instagram. And sometimes there's the coolest old stuff on there, and even just looking through that page, you can get so much inspiration for how you want to create your junk journals if you kind of create them, I would say, sort of how I do with, a lot of interesting little vintage things added to your journals. That Instagram is so cool to get ideas from, because it's real, that's really how they collected things back in the day. She just posted, I think it was today, a scrapbook or a diary or something where this lady had these little ticket stubs, and she put them through a safety pin and then safety pinned her little collected stubs to another piece of paper, and just stuff like that. Just cool things done with paper, in antique books and scrapbooks and stuff. So anyway, Paper of the Past, go check it out. I absolutely love that Instagram. Not to be confused also with another amazing journal artist, Donna at Past and Pages, I think she is. Past and Pages. Same kind of thing. She does just the coolest old antique looking journals, grungy and old, and really featuring the papers and the ephemera and stuff like that. Just I love her work and how she does that. So I guess go check out both of those pages. I'll put them again in the description box so you can check them out. But really fun to look through, and just I'm so inspired by both of those pages and all the content that they have. Anyway, I think we're getting close to the end of this one. Yeah, some little bus tickets and things, and a little vintage Rolodex card that I've coffee dyed, and I added a little snippet of some Florentine paper too, and just another fold out with some more railroad ephemera. I love that paper from Ruby and Pearl XO. I don't know what kit it's from, I'm sorry, but it's just a beautiful digital. This one's a super long paper. So that's that one. I hope you guys like that one. Just so much fun. So much fun to play with old papers and make something pretty from them. Okay, this one I this one was just in my brain, and I had to get it out. I had to brain dump it all out and hurry up and sew it and just get the idea of it out. It's pretty simple. The textiles are really, really pretty. I had this scarf that I found at a thrift store and it was pink, and it had the sort of fringe at the bottom, and it was from it said Paris, and it had the Eiffel Tower on it, and somebody messaged me, I forget who it was, and they're like, "Oh, don't cut that." Oh, well, you can't tell a junk journaler who makes fabric covered journals not to cut something they got at the thrift store, because that's just what we do. That's what we do. And so that's what I did, and I made a pocket out of it. I have a whole bunch left, and I'm probably going to use that for more little pockets here and there, but I think it made for a really pretty journal cover. And yeah, there's just some other little textiles and trims on there, and some little tags that I've put in the front. The tag with the angel, that's a stamp That's that angel stamp that I was looking for a while, and I just used some liquid acrylics to do the gold wing and just some other tags there to just kind of bring the whole vibe of the journal together. I lined it with this vintage French wallpaper. I have a roll of this stuff, and it's so pretty. It's got like gold, and it's super, super heavily embossed and like a cameo sort of feel, and it's really pretty. Then I had this image of Marie Antoinette and her children, which I love. It's from a book. I can't remember which one of my books I got it from, but I ended up just kind of framing it. And this is just a little blurb that came off of the page from that book page that I got that image from. And I included it there in that front pocket, which is a vintage airmail envelope with a really pretty rose illustration. That was a mouthful. Okay, and then a really pretty, another really pretty book page of two princesses. I forget which princesses they are, but I want to say they're English princesses. These are from Luna Rosu. Once again, Sheena. If you go to her Ko-fi, I think it's called Ko-fi page, and subscribe to her monthly, you can get her digital collections, and I love using her stuff. So there's a couple of things from her in here. This is some French ledger, and I did some tabs and a little bit of random ruffles and some charms. I love that beautiful lace up there at the top. That's some antique lace that I've been hoarding. And just some really shiny, sort of like lavender colored satin that I turned into a ruffle. So these are just some pieces that I thought went well with this journal. Just some little, it's like a vellum sticker. This is more of that painted collage masterboard that I turned into tags. And this is some vintage stationery. And this is a book page from a book about paper dolls. I wish I would have shown that book in this video. I might have shown it before a long time ago, but it's a really interesting book. I'll try to show it next time so you guys can look for it, because it's got so much cool imagery that I think you guys would like. It's like paper dolls and like their evolution over time. And that's an authentic French letterhead, and then some more book pages, some more little tickets, some roses. So this is an embossed stamp. So I stamped it on some French ledger and embossed it. And oh, this is some really fancy scrapbook paper that I've been hoarding, but I love those pansies. I think those are called pansies, right? And a little tag with some digitals, and that's actually a real Victorian die cut that I rescued from a old dilapidated Victorian scrapbook. Had to soak all the pages and soak thousands of little die cuts off, and I'm talking thousands. It had so many tiny ones. That's a book page from Thumbelina. And then in here, okay, this is just some little tags that I put together with a garment pin. I love this one. That's from the Graphics Fairy, I think. And then this is a antique postcard, and it's one of those like really heavily embossed ones as well. It's kind of it's like heavy itself, and I just love the pink in that, like the pink bows and the pink rooftop of the house. Very perfect for this journal. This is a super cool old envelope. Oh my gosh, this thing like was falling apart. But I love that all the old like writing and stamps and tape and stuff that's on there. This is a digital. I have this in my shop in a Telegram digital kit, so you can find that in my shop. This is some more French ledger, botanical book pages, and then this little sweet thing might have come from the same Victorian scrapbook that I had. Look at that. So old, 1883. This is some book pages, I think, from a book or some pages that Liz from Lucky Street gave me. And then this tag has some Ruby and Pearl XO digital, and then some book pages, and then this is some gorgeous, amazing antique Dresden Trim, I believe is what it's called. It's like this kind of foiled paper trim that is so special, and I just like use it so sparingly because I like never want to run out of it. It's the cover of a French magazine. Little trim here. A really pretty greeting card with gold accents. Flips open, pretty cool. I've used some really pretty stamps in this one too. This is also from the Graphics Fairy, I believe, this little rose card. I like the colors of that, and the really pretty butterfly, and then some more authentic little French scraps of paper. Okay, so here, this is just a little fabric flip. That's some fabric from Boho Tree, some more embossed stamping, and what did I put in here? Yeah, okay, so this is just like a little postal card and a little vellum frame sticker. And in here, I just made like this little booklet. The digital that I created it from is from Dot's Inspiration Shop, which I'll link in the description box. She gifted me this pack of digitals, and inside of this little booklet I just put some interesting little ephemera like this. I never see Italian ephemera anywhere. Like I don't think I have much Italian ephemera, so I put this like little Italian ticket that was in there. I included that, and I thought that was a cute little thing. And then this is a tiny little, like the tiniest little red enamel heart. My favorite ever vintage tally cards. They're embossed with roses, and then this is a authentic telegram. This is a British telegram, I think. So this is another digital from Sheena Lunarozu, one of her kits, and I just created a tag from it with some stamps and collaging. But I love the colors of that and the little cute little naked angel. And then this right here is a clipping from an art magazine that my husband and I used to get called Juxtapose. It's either from Juxtapose or High Fructose. I want to say it's from Juxtapose. And I had it laying around, and it just so happened to be like kind of the colors that were on this tag and kind of like in this journal in general. So and it was like the perfect size. It's basically just like a painting that was featured in the magazine, and so I took it out of the magazine and or I had the clipping already actually, and I just included it in this journal because it went well. So this is some little French bark cloth, and I just attached it here so that I could have like a little bit of a fabric pocket with a vintage greeting card. And this is a really cool kind of, I didn't notice this until I was filming. So the card was to, you know, their daughter or whatever from mother, right? And then this is to mother from whoever, I'm assuming from her daughter. And it's this beautiful little drawing. Isn't that cute? And I don't know if I got those two things together in the same lot. Like I don't know where those two things came from. And yeah, they just went together so perfectly. So that I don't know if that's the same like mother and daughter, but I thought that was really cool. This is just some little textiles here, part of a little velvet flocked scarf and some other little coordinating textiles, and then this is a beautiful old antique postcard. And I'm going through my hoarded postcards and including them in my journals, because they do me no good sitting in a box just for me to look at every now and again. So I'm gonna use them even more so than usual now, because I don't know why I hoard them. And then this is just a little tag here. So that's the 2 journals that I have. They are in my shop. They are available at the time that this video comes up. And thank you so much for sticking through this whole thing. I hope you like this chatty video. There's a little wooden tag. I don't know if I mentioned that before. A little wooden tag that I made with some wallpaper on the front. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.